Good afternoon, everybody. It's 1 o'clock here on the East Coast, and welcome. I'm so glad you could make it to our short 40-minute session on how to use Hebrew in Harmony for teachers. I know we have some education directors on the line as well, so welcome to you all. I'd like to start by asking how many of you are currently using Hebrew in Harmony, meaning you've bought some of the materials and it's underway in some fashion in your school. If you could raise your hand next to your name in the little panel, I'd love to know that. How many of you are already using Hebrew in Harmony? Thank you for that. And tell me now, how many of you are here to understand or to learn a bit more about it before deciding if you are going to adopt it? If you could raise your hand, your little baby icon hand. Okay, good. So I see that the majority of you are using it and a couple of you are here just to explore. So let me tell you what we're going to be doing for the next 40 minutes or so. Actually, I'm going to keep it shorter because I want to leave plenty of time for you to ask your questions. We're going to start with a quick overview of Hebrew in Harmony, looking at the goals, teaching prayer through music, what's currently available, what's coming, and what's included in each module, each prayer module. Then I'm going to quickly walk you through a lesson in action, and I've chosen brachot just randomly. I've picked a few selected techniques. Then we'll take a look at the digital component, the digital companion, and how that works. And finally, we'll wrap up with a Q&A. Anything you want to talk about. Throughout, please type your questions into the question bar, and I've got it on my second screen, so if you see me glancing over, it's because I'm looking at your questions. Hebrew in Harmony is a Hebrew curriculum in which 4th through 6th graders learn prayer through music. And these are the goals. Just very briefly, you can take a quick look. So what you can see is that while it is, of course, a Hebrew program and we want them to learn prayer and become prayer literate, it's a lot to do with the children finding meaning in prayer and being able to relate to it and developing some sort of a connection to it. Let me know if you have any questions about the goals. Otherwise, I'm going to move on very quickly. I'm going to stop for a quick moment because I realize some of you may be perhaps trying to take notes quickly. I am recording the session and I do plan to post it, and I'm going to show you where I'm going to post it. I'm going to actually cut out of this PowerPoint for a moment and take you into the Hebrew in Harmony website. So here we are at behrmanhouse.com/HIH. And you can recognize it by the yellow color. We've got a section here on the right called Teacher Training near the bottom, and I plan to post it there probably by the end of the day or tomorrow, because actually a number of people couldn't make it, so I'm going to let everyone know that it's there, but you can take a look if you want to share it with your colleagues. It'll be there by tomorrow. So why teach prayer through music? And here again, these are just the ideas that I thought of. Music is directly connected to emotions. I'm not going to read it to you. You can read it yourself. And as you're doing so, I would love to know from you, feel free to type it in to the question panel. Why else do you think it might be helpful or wonderful to teach prayer through music? Let me know your ideas. Yep, music is highly motivating to the kids. It's engaging, fun, brain-friendly. Thanks, Marla. Yeah, and it's part of tefillah, and many synagogues have hired song leaders specifically to bring the kids that engagement and to bring them into the musical experience. And of course, it's adaptable to multiple intelligences. Prayer is done musically. Thanks for those terrific thoughts. Yes. Keep adding. I'll keep reading. So let us continue. So what's available now and what's coming? The left-hand panel shows what we have now, and these are the prayers that you are using or you've picked from. So 8 modules are currently available. In the middle of January, around January 15th or so, we're going to be sending out 7 new prayer modules in the Golem Plan and Golem Express. Those of you who are on the automatic book plan will get these 7 journals. So this is what's coming. You can see them, they're listed. And if you want to just take a quick look, I just printed out the front pages. They're not yet printed. So Avot Ve'emahot, Birchot Shalom, Guvurot, Kedusha, and so on. So 7 journals will be available in the middle of January. There are 2 digital pieces that will also be available then. They are Lechadodi and Michamocha, and those will automatically be added to the full digital access license. Those of you who are already using full digital access, that's a 12-month license per user at $9.95. You will find that in the middle of January, those 2 prayers are automatically included at no extra charge. Oh, I'm seeing a comment that the website says April 2017, and you know what? We need to change that. I'm going to make a note. Because we've brought it forward. Change website to January. For Cynthia, if you said you can't see what I'm referencing, you should be able to see my screen. If anybody else cannot see my screen, let me know, but I'm showing my screen at the same time. Now, what about the 5 other digital pieces? If the 7 journals are coming in January, 2 of the 7 digital pieces, what about the 5 others? Those are taking a little bit longer because those are the prayers with prayer variations. Avot V'emahot, Gvurot, and so on. They have different versions for Reform and Conservative, and those will all be available in April. April the 1st, those 5 remaining digital pieces will be available. You'll be able to pick and choose whether you want the Reform or the Conservative. When you open up the application, you'll get a choice, Reform or Conservative. Let me know if you have any questions about that. And then January 2018, those are the remaining prayers, and then the series will be complete. Okay, moving along. So, what are the 3 components in each module? First of all, there's the 16-page student journal. You can buy it alone. It's $2.95. But I want to tell you, it's not much use by itself. Of course, you can use it alone, and people are, but it goes hand in hand with a digital companion. So I'll talk in a minute a little more about that, but I just want to show you the 3rd piece in each module. That is the curriculum core, and that's for you. That's for the teacher and education director. So the 16-page journal, you all know what they look like. They look like this, right? And that's what the student does to make meaning of the content, and most places are using it in class during, an in-person session. The digital companion is fully integrated, so it ties in with the student journal, and there are activities in the journal that are directly related to what the kids are doing in the digital. For example, the music. In the journal, the children are asked to analyze the music, compare musicians, talk about the instrumentation, the mood that the music creates. And this is one of the driving methodologies of the program, the music. So we strongly encourage you to use the digital companion. In fact, it was just yesterday that I was talking to a teacher, and she has not started using the digital yet, is feeling regretful about it and is aspiring to use it but doesn't have the technology available in the school building and has not yet found a way to send it home for the children to use in the online learning center. So she's in fact using the journal, which the children love, but she's skipping over the musical activities. So we discussed ways that she could remedy that. To me, the best way to do this is to get a student journal for each child and then the full digital access, which is $9.95 for a 12-month license and covers all the digital prayers. Let me know any questions about that, please. The curriculum core is the third component. It looks like this. It's this big blue binder, and it has, as you know, likely know, it has a tab for each prayer and a really comprehensive introduction with sort of really terrific ways of doing project, and not so much art projects, but how the arts can help inform your program. And there are mindfulness practices and movement and physicality and ways to use the series, the program, with children with special needs, with learning differences. And then, of course, for each module, for example, the Baruch Hu, the Shema, Gvorot, etc., there are 3 fully scripted lessons. I'm going to stop for a quick moment because I want to take you into our second part. That was our overview, and now I want to take you to the second part, which is quickly running through a few activities within a lesson. I'm going to pause to see if you have questions. I forgot to say that the digital companion is usable on all devices. So you can use it obviously in websites, on laptops and computers, and then on tablets as well and mobile devices. Okay, let us move into how a lesson might work. First, take a look at this. It's just a few overview points, a few pointers. So each prayer module, as I said, within the curriculum core is divided into 3 lessons of 50 to 60 minutes each. If you don't have that amount of time in any given meeting or any session, spread it out. That's your choice. It's not carved in stone. It's merely a guide. These are guidelines for you. If you don't need the script, you don't need to use it. We know people who are playing games with the activities that we might not have included and doing all sorts of other reading. 3 Hebrew Helpers pages divide the lessons. A Hebrew Helper, so here's the journal. This is a typical Hebrew Helpers page. There are 3 per journal, and they really demarcate, they divide up the lesson, the 3 lessons. You can use them whenever you choose. That's just there to help guide you. I've said that every activity is fully scripted and excuse me, you can expand or reduce the activities as you choose. Couple of questions. Michael asks, can you use the same account on multiple electronic devices? Yes, the minute you log in, it recognizes you and it picks up it tracks your progress and it picks up where you left off. Rhonda said the initial setup of Classroom was quite cumbersome. I think you're probably referring to setting it up in the online learning center. So we lost time to introduce and have classes up and running as early as we would have wanted. I'm sorry, I understand it does require some administrative setup, and some people call us for help. We are always available, our technical support staff. You can call our 800 number, or you can write, you can send us a support ticket, and at the end I have a slide with ways that you can reach us. I wish other online, Philip says, I wish other Behrman House online could be used on the iPad. I know the Hebrew and Harmony works. Yes, so the reason is that some of our other older products, our older materials, learning materials such as Kol Yisrael, are done in Flash and are not usable on mobile devices. And I recognize the frustration. Toby says, I've lost my audio. Is it just me? That is a bummer. Um, Can somebody just write and tell me if you can hear me? Okay, thanks so much. Thank you so much. So let me just write to Toby and say, sorry, just you. Oh, that's not fun. All right. So continue. Please do continue to send your questions. I'll cut away to them. And thanks so much to you guys for responding so quickly to that request. So the first thing, and again, whatever I say here is in the curriculum core. So I happen to have printed out and marked up the pages, not printed out, I just pulled them out of the 3-ring binder and marked it up for this purpose. Everything I say is in the curriculum core. Every lesson opens what we call a start activity. So the teacher, you, might walk in early, before class and write on the board or a flip chart or a whiteboard, turn to page 2 in your journal and complete the Count Your Blessings activity. And this is what it looks like. So the kids turn to page 2 in their journals and they see this activity. It's a way to bring the kids into the class, into the topic of the day or the content. If somebody arrives early, get them started. Just an easy way to ease them into the session. So that's the start activity. Next, you would turn to the prayer itself. In this case, it's the blessing formula. In other prayers, it's of course going to be much longer. You might say something like, listen to these words and tell me what you think of when I say them. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. And you're going to get a variety of responses from the kids. Someone might say, oh, it's the motzi, or someone would say, yeah, that's a blessing, or, you're going to get a variety of responses, and you could say something, yes, that's the way we introduce brachot, or blessings, in our tradition. And you might have them read the English introduction to themselves, or in small groups or in pairs, and then read the Hebrew words aloud together. That might lead into a short discussion about the term blessing formula and why it's called a formula and what a formula means to them. They might say math formula, or it's a fixed form of words, or it tells us what's going to happen, or whatever answer they might have, and you could have them fill out the activity at the bottom of the page if you so choose. And when that activity is over, you might turn to the music. So as I've described, this is one of the highlights of the program. So let's see how you could work with the music. In this case, you could say, in the Talmud, there's this guy named Rabbi Meir, and he said we should say a certain number of blessings every day. Who can guess how many blessings we should say every day? 10, 20, 1,000, a million, you know what the kids will say. And then you could say, well, in fact, Rabbi Meir said we should say 100 blessings every day. So this is a musician. Her name is Emily Tech, and she created a song. She wrote a song called 100 Blessings. Let's listen to it. So let's do that. I'm going to take off my headset so that I can put the speaker next, the mouthpiece next to the
100 blessings every day in 24 hours, 100 reasons to say Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We'll say blessings upon waking eyes, open, getting dressed, going to the bathroom, giving me my breath. We'll say blessings.
Could you hear that music? Could you hear that? Okay, good. Glad you could. So that's Emily Tech's 100 Blessings, and that's just an example of one of the songs that are in Hebrew in Harmony. I'm going to again cut away to the website and just show you quickly the musicians that are currently included. I think we have around 40 musicians so far. Let me see. Oh, 32 so far, and we also have the Bible players. You can see them on my screen. They've created some phenomenal and hilarious videos for us for this next set of the next phase, the 7 modules that are coming out in January. For phase 3, which is the final prayers, the Torah service and concluding prayers, we expect to have another 15 to 20 musicians. I have a question. What is the best way for me to tell my teachers to get the melodies prayers to play for their kids? Okay, so Hannah, the thing is here, we only give a clip here. You can see 30 seconds, 27. So this is not the best way. This is really more for so that you can get a sense of what the music is and the variety, but this is not the way to get the music. I'm going to show you that. That's in the digital application. I'm coming to that next. Oh boy, this is not what I wanted to show you. Here we go. So now, after you've listened to the music, the kids you can have a discussion about what was, some of you said, oh, that was catchy, or that was fun, or that was really upbeat. So, but you want to draw that from the kids so that they are finding pleasure in the music, or at least analyzing or thinking about it. So you might say, if they say, oh, that was upbeat, well, then you could say, well, what made it upbeat? Oh, they might say she sang in a lovely lilting high voice, or she was playing her guitar really fast, or whatever they'd say. And then you can have them fill out the little activity here at the bottom of page 2 in the journal. So as you are proceeding along this route of, you're engaging them with new content and in all different ways and different modalities, you're also trying, in this instance, in the instance of brachot, leading them to a place where they come to a sense of appreciation and gratitude and noticing and sort of heightened awareness. So you'll see that many of the questions in the curriculum core drive them towards that, to finding that kind of meaning in brachot. Gail says, by the way, they will pick up on the bathroom reference in the song, and 100%, and that would be so cool. And then you could read them the blessing for going to the bathroom, and they will probably, think that's hilarious and remember it. Okay, so moving along, the next aspect might be to learn the Hebrew. So here is an example of some of the Hebrew words that they'll learn in the lesson. They'll learn the root bet resh chaf, and I'm not going to spend much time on this, but you might at this point teach them the word berech and show them how it's related to bowing, and have them actually act out some bowing and talk about how it feels. So one of the aspects of the program is this physicality and how they feel in their body, in their minds, their spirits, and their souls. And the curriculum core gives a really cool movement activity to learn the 6-word blessing formula, where you kind of divide up the words, hand them out to the kids, and ask them to teach the Hebrew word to their friends, to their peers, by acting it out. So instead of saying Baruch means blessed, or Melech means king or ruler, they might go Melech, and they would have to act out a king, or acting imperious, or if it's Atah, they would point to a boy, and they teach each other the Hebrew that way. And again, this is an example of how the program promotes getting out of your seats, moving. At this point, you might do a Hebrew helpers activity if you so choose, and then you would wrap up the class. Again, as I say, these are selected activities. You would wrap up the class by asking a question, maybe as they leave the room, or altogether, what's one thing you would want to say a blessing for, or what's one thing you so appreciate, or let's all say the blessing formula together, and so on. I'm going to move on to the digital, and by the way, this is the last element in our session together. So before I switch over to this, let me see what Cantor Stern is asking. Should each student in class have a device or just the teacher for the songs? That is your choice. So we just want to encourage you to use the digital. So some places have a smart board, in which case they will show the digital on the smart board and they will certainly play the music that way. Some teachers download the music to their laptops, bring it in, plug in speakers and play it that way. Let me show you and it'll become clearer. Gail says the students work on the digital in small groups. So that's another option. Now, a bit of a disclaimer, on this webinar platform, I cannot show video. It just looks like, it looks really bad, it's jerky, and the music doesn't play easily either. So what I recommend is that you go to this Hebrew and Harmony page, behrmanhouse.com/HIH, and you personally play around, look on the bottom right, free until December 31st, try Shema Digital. Go there and just play around. It looks like this. And you can share it with your colleagues and you could try out the digital that way. Okay, so I encourage that because I cannot show you the digital in a very comprehensive way on this platform. But here it is. This is how you get there. I'm in the online learning center as a teacher. Here's my picture. There's my role. And I click on this green play button. This is the way the teachers get there. This is the way the kids get there too. And I'm not going into today the technical aspect of how you set up the OLC. You can call us, we'll help you with that. So I clicked on I'm going to go back just so I can show you. I clicked on the green play button on the left and the software opens. Here, I'm in the full digital access, right? So I have access to all the prayers and this is what we encourage you to use. It's just the easiest. Here's the music on the right-hand side. See the cloud with a download arrow, and here are all the songs. When the next 7 modules become available mid-January, they will be added here as well, and with all the music. So you as the teacher, all you need to do is go to your own software and click the play button, and you've got access to all the music. By the way, a little trick. If you are not even in the OLC and you've bought the software, you could just look at my little mouse here up at the top, My Account. Click on My Account. You do not have to be in the OLC for this. My Software on the left. And here's all your software and you can click the play button. Works exactly the same as if you are in the OLC. So for those of you not yet set up, you can still access the software that way. So here's the music that you can also download onto your laptop and just bring into class. Then I'm going to click on the software, choose, let's say, Brachot, and I'm just going to quickly sort of fly through this. The learn in the middle are the videos that you, I know, can't see properly. You can watch Miss Emily singing, Emily Tech singing, or you can, sorry about that, I clicked the wrong thing, or you can watch Noah Aronson teach the kids the traditional melody. And I'm going to stop there to take a few questions. Oh, okay, so Gail says I should show you the matzah ball game. What's actually, we call it the melody game. So I showed you learn. So the learn section again are the videos and teaching the kids the songs. Practice is where the kids and you can hear an Israeli accent reading the words, an American accent, or can record themselves. They can record and it automatically gets uploaded to you, and you can record feedback to them. So it's a fantastic way to assess their progress with the reading. So that's the practice. Melody game looks like this. And what you can't hear is that each of these syllables has a sound. So where's Baruch? Baruch. I have to drag. And as they combine syllables, and again, you can't hear, but there's a melody behind each one. So Baruch. And we have this game for almost all of the prayers. That is the melody game. And then the last aspect of the digital is Quizit, which is really recall. So it's content knowledge. So that's another way to assess how the kids, how much of the content they've absorbed. And I want to show you also as the teacher how you can assess, in addition to hearing the recordings, you as the teacher have this view assessment button. And you can see all the children in your class and how they did on the various games. And that is the digital. So I want to stop and see what questions you have about this. Because this seems to be the one place where people need the most help or find the most challenging. The journals are easy to understand, but I so want to encourage you to use the digital along with the journals to enrich the program and to make it all it can be. So any questions about how the digital works? Can the students play the games quizzes if we don't have an OLC? Okay, in order to, I'm going to try to make this as short an answer as I can. In order to assign the license to each child, you have to have an online learning center set up. And then you're going to assign it to each child within the online learning center. After you've done that, the kids can use the software anywhere. They can use it on as an app on their devices, but initially you need to be in the OLC to assign it to the children. And after that, on their device they download an app from the App Store, and it identifies them because it's the same login that you used in assigning them the software. Hope that made sense. So the kids do need to be in the OLC for you to assign them the software. Now, when I showed you my account on the top, my software on the left, that's if I bought it myself. Or once I've already been assigned the software, I can then access it that way and I don't have to go into the OLC. But you as the education director need to have people in the OLC before you can assign them the software. Did you see the digital aspect more as homework so students complete after class and enhance how the lessons went? Rhonda asks. That's a really good question. And wow, okay, we're at our final piece, so just let the questions flow. Some places are using the software at home, assigning it for use at home. It enriches the class, it expands the learning time. Not everybody does that. Some are using it, as I think, Gail, you said you do, which is in small groups within your meeting time. Some are just having just ordered one digital license for the teacher and have the teacher use it on a smart board or projecting it from his or her laptop. That is fine, because at least it exposes the kids to the videos and the music, but it's not ideal because the kids aren't practicing on their own and they're not doing the reading on their own and they're not uploading the recordings and so on. So it really is up to you how you want to use it. I hope that answered your question, Rhonda. Gail said there should be a step-by-step webinar of the online setup. We do have that, Gail, and that is, let me jump out to our website, and if you go to the Online Learning Center at the top and you click on Educator Guides and Tutorials. So you do not need to be logged in. You can just go to Online Learning Center, Educator Guides and Tutorials, and it looks like this. Rhonda says, the reason I ask is that it's been cumbersome to have everyone access it during class, even though we have tablets. Well, you've got two choices on your tablet. You can use it in a web browser, or you can download the HIH, the Hebrew and Harmony app, from the App Store, and students can log in that way. But again, you have to have assigned it to them. If you want them to each have a license, you have to have assigned it to them in the Online Learning Center. I just haven't gotten them registered. I have licenses for them all. All right. So you've bought this, Gail, you've bought the licenses, and now you need to get them into the Online Learning Center so that you can actually assign the software to them. The minute you create the Hebrew and Harmony class and put the students in, they get the license automatically and they can start working on it. You can call us if you need help. So here, where's our toll-free? Oh, I didn't put our toll-free number. Let me add it on here. There's our toll-free number, 800-221-2755. You can also contact me, and I'll set you up with our tech support people, or you can contact customer support at behrmanhouse.com. Those are all the ways you can reach us. If you email customer support at behrmanhouse.com, you can just say, I need tech support, or you can call the 800 number, and one of our tech people will be able to help you. What else? We're at 1:36. We have 4 minutes left in our time together. Again, I will post the recording by tomorrow morning on the Hebrew and Harmony page. That looks like this. And I'll post it under teacher training. We would love it if you would join our Facebook page. I'm so sorry I'm jumping back and forth. I hope I'm not making you dizzy and seasick. But this is our Hebrew and Harmony Facebook page. Just go to Facebook and do a search on Hebrew in Harmony, and it'll come up, and we post ideas, share information, tell you what's coming. We'd love to have you join. So that is it from me. I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes. If anybody would like to post comments, questions, I'm here. You can also contact me privately at the email address on the screen. And I thank you so much for your time and for your attention. And we're really, really thrilled that you're using Hebrew in Harmony. And we look forward to continuing the conversation. So for those of you who have to leave, thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to stay on for another few minutes. All right, I am going to end the webinar now and stop the recording. And I thank you so much for, again, for being here. Looking forward to staying in touch.